Hey, super learners. We're going to continue with our animals and winter readings today. We've talked about hibernation, we've talked about migration, and today we're going to talk about adaptation or adapting. And the name or title of our book is Polar Animal Adaptations. So these are going to be specific to animals that live in the super cold and how they can change. And it is written by Lisa J. Amstutz. So this is an informational text. We're going to find out facts about these animals and what they do in their polar animal adaptations. Okay, I'm going to open it up. This page is called the Table of Contents, and that lets us, the readers, know what information we can find and on what page. So if I'm looking just for like body parts information, I can go straight to this page, page 16, to tell me all about the body parts. But so we're going to actually start at the beginning, life at the poles, and then it has more information. So here we go, life at the poles. The North and South poles are like giant freezers most of the year. Polar animals have special ways to stay warm and find food in their snowy homes. We call these ways adaptations. Can you say that? Adaptations. So on this page, we have little penguins. What to wear? Some polar animals wear fur coats to keep warm. A musk ox wears two. That's this guy. The bottom coat is soft and warm. The top coat is shaggy and long. Ooh, and those are also really good adjectives. They're describing the second coat. So shaggy and long. And the bottom one is soft and warm. The Arctic fox's coat is the warmest of any mammal. So we're not saying like a coat, like we have our coats, we put our jackets on. Animals, especially mammals, are born with extra, with fur, and that's what they call their coat. And a mammal is usually has hair. We talked a little bit about this when we talked about bats. So when the fox gets chilly, it sits on its furry tail like a cushion. Then it tucks its nose to stay warm. That's my kind of cuddling up. It's kind of what I would do if I had a blanket. So here is the musk ox and the musk ox. And over here, Arctic fox. Ooh, say that 10 times fast. Did you know that polar bears have hollow hair? When something is hollow, that means it's empty in the middle. So think of like a toilet paper tube after you've used all the toilet paper, just the tube, and it's hollow, it's empty on the inside. Tube-shaped fur traps heat in the middle. So that tube, it catches the warmth and it keeps it there. All that heat soaks into the bear's black skin. Did you know that polar bears have black skin? I know, you would never notice because all you see is their white fur. Why black? The dark color is the best at holding in heat. Snowy owls change colors by the season. Their white winter feathers match snow. Brown summer feathers match plants and rock on the tundra. That's like where they live or where they kind of hunt. One of the owl's prey, do you remember what prey means? The one that gets hunted. Good. The lemming turns colors too. It changes from brown to white, just like the owl. An adult owl eats up to 5 lemmings each day, if it can find them. So this little guy gets eaten by the owl, but his fur changes color, so it helps him become what we call camouflage. Can you say camouflage? Yeah, that's where they kind of their skin or fur changes colors to fit in with their environment where they are, just like that chameleon video that we saw. Penguin chicks have fuzzy down feathers to stay extra warm on land. As the chicks become adults, they grow waterproof feathers to hunt in the icy ocean. Another bird, the ptarmigan, sorry if I mispronounced that, grows its own fuzzy slippers. I'm going to pause there and zoom in. Look at that. I've never seen a bird with fuzzy feet before. Its feathery feet keep it warm when walking on the cold tundra, so like icy areas. How else do polar bears stay warm? Blubber! Ringed seals have a layer of fat called blubber. Say blubber. Good, it's kind of a funny word. Under their skin. Blubber keeps the seals warm and it helps them float. A lot of animals in the Arctic area, in the polar spaces, have blubber to keep them warm. A bowhead whale's blubber is about 18 inches thick. So I don't have a ruler, but it would be like 12 inches of the ruler plus another half of a foot. That's a lot of blubber to stay warm. Bowhead whales live in cold water all year long. Polar body parts. Arctic hares don't need earmuffs to keep their ears warm. Their ears are short and furry. Longer ears would get too cold and suffer frostbite. Frostbite is something that happens even to humans if a body part has been exposed or out in the cold for super cold for too long. It literally freezes and it can cause what we call nerve damage, and it can really mess up your body parts. So it's always always a good idea to be safe in the winter. Wear hats, gloves, scarves, anything, mittens, gloves, to keep you warm, because it happens to animals too. Although their ears are short, Arctic hares are bigger than other hares. What do you think a hare is? Not like the hair in my head. Right, it's like a type of rabbit. Their large body size holds in heat. Many polar animals have big feet to help them walk on snow without sinking. A wolverine's big paws act like snowshoes. I know some of you are like, Wolverine. Yes, a wolverine is actually a real animal, not just a comic book character from X-Men. So this is a wolverine. It's kind of cute. Kind of reminds me of like a badger. And what they're saying is that their feet are really big, and it helps them walk. A reindeer's wide hooves are also good for walking on snow. Their hooves are their feet. More than that, they help the reindeer dig under the snow to find food. Walrus tusks look like giant teeth. That's these things right here. But they aren't made for chewing. Walruses use their tusks to climb out of the water, chop holes in the ice, and fight. I would not want to get in a fight with those I would not want to get in a fight with those walruses and those tusks. People put antifreeze in their cars. It keeps the water inside from freezing. Atlantic cod make their own antifreeze. It keeps them from turning into frozen fish sticks in the icy ocean. We heard about him in one of our other stories. The wood frog has special blood too. As the frog freezes, its heart and breathing stop. Couldn't do it. In the spring, it thaws out again, good as new. So thaws out means it's not an ice cube anymore. Now it's back to its normal self. Polar animal behavior. The Arctic ground squirrel snoozes through the coldest part of the year. It hibernates for up to 8 months. That's like our whole school year, pretty much. It is one of the few polar animals that hibernates. Many polar animals migrate to warmer places in the winter. The Arctic tern, it's a type of bird, flies from the Arctic to the Antarctic each year. So from one place to another. Then it flies back. It can fly more than 1 million miles in its lifetime. From colored feathers to wide hooves, polar animals are experts at living in the cold. Adaptations help polar animals survive in the icy Arctic and Antarctic areas. I say he's having trouble with this book today. Here's our little polar bear. And it's little in the picture, but polar bears are actually ginormous. They're like 8 to 10 feet long. So that was Polar Animal Adaptations. I hope you learned a few more things about how animals act and behave in the winter and what they do to survive. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo.